You're listening to the Ripple Podcast. We joke and laugh a lot, but the content itself is serious, sometimes scary, graphic, and always true. This podcast is meant for mature audiences and includes subject matter and language that is not suitable for young listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor. Ripple.
Okay, it is Thanksgiving tomorrow.
It's pre-Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving Eve.
It's the pregame of Thanksgiving.
And we're starting it off right.
With an Amaretto sour.
Because
we're doing Italy tonight.
You're doing Italy. I'm just listening to a story, and I'm so happy about that.
I am doing Italy, and our dad is 100% Italian, and his favorite, well, one of his favorite drinks is
gin and tonic.
No, wrong answer. Guess
it is
again.
the right answer. I know him better than you, I guess.
I said one of his favorite drinks.
Jack Daniels mixed with Diet 7-Up.
Wrong again. You failed this daughter test.
I've never seen him drink an Amaretto sour.
He doesn't drink Amaretto sour. He drinks Amaretto on the rocks.
Oh, no. He drinks Amaretto on the ice cream.
Well, that too. On the vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is delicious. But yeah, I made Amaretto sours, and I think they're very tasty.
They're actually really good.
They need to be colder.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's cold out, so, I mean, I don't want a super cold drink.
Well, I made the simple syrup just before I got here, so it was still
a
little
warm.
bit warm. But yeah, yummy.
So what's in it? Is it just like a whiskey sour but with amaretto?
So it's simple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
It's amaretto.
Okay.
It's lemon, like juice. Like fresh squeezed lemon juice with an orange wedge and a maraschino cherry.
Oh, okay. It's good. I like it.
It's sweet.
Yeah, it is.
But it's yummy.
Amaretto always makes me think of...
My dad.
No. It actually always makes me think of Flaming Dr. Peppers.
Oh, yes. You have mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Okay, when we do our Simpsons episode, that's what we should make as our drink.
Flaming Moe's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Flaming Dr. Peppers are deadly.
Wouldn't that be
They're
fun?
really bad.
Let's do that.
Okay. So...
I hear you have a story you want to tell me.
Oh, yeah. So I just heard about this. My phone told me about it yesterday. That's the great thing about doing this podcast is that when I start searching for really random, weird, strange, and unusual things on my phone, my Google News algorithm changes and I get alerts for things like Utah monolith is a weird surprise in the desert. Did you hear about this?
I don't even know what a monolith is.
Well,
mono means one. Lith is like a
I'm going to let you work on this.
Glypheric. How do you say the word? Hieroglyphic?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Hieroglyphic, like paper. So this is like a one what's the word again? Monolith?
Monolith.
Lith. It's like a one paper, one note, one page. So that's my guess.
So, no.
Oh.
Well, I guess you got the mono part because it's a single thing. But a monolith is a large single upright block or stone, especially one shaped or carved into a monument. But I don't know. So these helicopter pilots were flying around Utah and they were counting sheep.
Can I have that job? Because that sounds amazing.
I'm surprised they don't fall asleep while they're flying.
Totally.
No, but there's like these bighorn sheep out there. I think they're sheep anyway. And they have to trap them when the populations get too high and then they like move them to other places. At least I think that's what happens to them. I'm not quite sure.
Or they turn them into soap, like from our Kentucky meat episode.
You gotta see the videos of them getting trapped because it's actually pretty funny. They have these like Spider-Man nets that they shoot out.
No
They
way.
do. It's pretty great.
Where is this again?
This is in Utah.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, but when they were looking for sheep, they happened upon a monolith that was out in the middle of the desert, and I'm going to show you a picture of it right now, and you can describe it.
Okay.
And they went back because they were like, what the hell is that? And they landed the helicopter because helicopters can do that out in the middle of the desert.
Anywhere, land
and
anywhere.
They went and investigated, and nobody knows what it is, why it's there, or like how it got there or anything. So there you go.
What? Okay, so there is this. It looks metal.
Yeah, I think it is.
And it's perfectly straight, like a perfectly straight rectangle, like
It
90-degree
Oh, okay.
angles.
I wasn't sure if it had 3 sides or 4 sides.
Oh, I can't tell. This is like the flat side looking, like it's just like 90-degree angles.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not
So
like
one
rounded.
side is a
It's-
big rectangle, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it has 3 sides or 4
It's
sides.
not like rustic looking at all, like something old. And there's a man who kind of looks like he's wearing an alligator costume, but I don't think he is.
It's a flight suit. He's one of the sheep counters.
He looks like he's
He
dressed
got
up
off
like
the
an
helicopter.
alligator. And he's standing next to it, and it is more than double his size. So let's guess he's a 6-foot man. It's probably like 14, 15 feet tall.
Oh, they guessed around 12 feet. But yeah, I mean, tall. That's still really tall. So yeah,
And
it's a mystery.
Just there. How did it get there and why? I wonder if this is someone's like art installment.
And that's what they said too, because there's a little video of the helicopter crew going out and investigating it. And initially they're like, oh, don't get too close, it's gonna zap, or like, thinking that it was some sort of alien thing, which I think it is.
It definitely looks like it.
But once
so perfect.
Yeah, but like, okay, say it is some sort of art installment, why out there? And like they make it sound like it's really hard to get to. Like, I don't think you can just drive up to that place. Like, they had to land a helicopter next to it.
Well, and obviously you can't tell from a picture, but it looks like it could be really heavy. Like the way it's like sitting on the dirt or sand or whatever the heck that is.
Like it's really anchored in there.
Mm-hmm. And metal, even if it's hollow, it's not light. Unless it's like aluminum. That's crazy. Let's put this on our Instagram.
Okay.
Very cool. He looks like an alligator. He looks like he's in a Halloween costume.
You've got to go watch the video and listen to them talk to each other, because they're making all kinds of jokes about it. It's going to open up and grab him and stuff. So.
Suck him in.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any fun stories to share?
So I do. And 2020 has been a hard year for a lot of people, many people, one way or another. And unfortunately, suicide rates have been up, and depression has been up, and anxiety is sky high. But there's a good chance that I found the cure-all today to happiness, like just the key to all things happy.
Okay.
Do you want to hear what it is?
Yes.
Do you want to take a guess?
Is it that Trader Joe's is now bringing back Jingle Jangle?
I don't know what Jingle Jangle is. Is it a cookie?
Kind of. It's like everything covered in chocolate. They come in those metal tins. You don't know Jingle Jangle? It's like pretzels that are covered in chocolate, and it's got like little candies, and it's just delicious happiness.
No.
In a tin for like $4.
That sounds great. But
Okay.
that's not what it is.
Okay.
I got some great vitamin D today. I was outside in the sunshine.
Vitamin D.
I got I went to a dog park with a little dog, and we hung out in the sun and sat on the benches, and I had a million dogs coming up and cuddling with me and sniffing and jumping, and I watched them run circles and play with each other, and I left there so happy. It was like the best feeling ever.
Going to a dog park.
Yes, that's the answer to happiness. I'm convinced. Unless you're allergic to dogs.
Well, yeah, there's always that. And in that case, like, you're just a lost cause. I'm
Right.
sorry.
You can't be happy.
Just, get that Benadryl, take it on the daily, on the hour if you have to. But, okay. I could see how that would be a great time. I had great times at dog parks when I lived in Montclair area. And I took my dogs to parks all the time.
I don't go to dog parks. I don't
Well, yeah, you don't
take
really
my
have
dogs.
to. Where you
Yeah.
live. But I will say that having gone to dog parks fairly frequently when I lived in the city, there's a lot of people there who don't have such a great time.
Like humans?
Yes.
Why? Because they step in dog
So many fights at the dog park.
Oh,
and my
really?
roommates and I used to go like and just kind of wait for something to happen just to watch people freak out.
Because normally dog people are like, well, not normally, but quite a few people are pretty chill.
I've witnessed quite a few.
Huh.
Yeah.
Everyone, I mean, I was super chatty because that's just me. I want to be talking with people. And I talked to a bunch of people and they were all super cool and like wishing me happy Thanksgiving and all this cool stuff.
Okay.
But that was at least today's cure for happiness.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my dog, she's very much an introvert.
Right.
And
mine's just an asshole. He's not allowed to go.
Yeah.
He's not allowed.
Smokey, in his younger days, loved the dog park, but now he's a grumpy old man, and he doesn't have time for any of that puppy bullshit.
That's
he's
Howdy. Howdy's like, it's my tennis ball. I'm not sharing it with you.
That's
Go
Smokey.
away.
Yep.
Which is fine. Dog parks aren't for all dogs.
And Ashes, she needs like a little vest that says, "Don't touch me, I'm scared."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I think Monroe would be fine. She'd be fine.
Yeah.
She'd go and visit everybody. But Howdy, I don't think would like it. But yeah, that's my story.
Cool.
It was so fun. Do you want to hear another story?
I'm ready for a story.
Okay. So, again.
I just realized you're wearing a Peloton sweatshirt.
I am.
Do you know? Okay. Ride, sweat, love.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like everybody says CrossFit is a cult?
Oh, Peloton's 100% of a cult.
Okay, I'm glad you're okay with admitting it.
I full on drank the Kool-Aid.
You took the Kool-Aid and emptied it over your head.
I bathe in it daily.
Yes.
And I try to get everyone I know to join my cult.
Oh, speaking of, I tried to recruit you to my cult last weekend, and I got stood up.
I know.
You
I
didn't
did.
even call. You didn't even tell me.
I know. I was really busy. I got really.
Mm-hmm.
I had a boutique the next day that I was preparing for, and I was a little overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my story takes place in Italy.
Yes.
It's a medical oddity.
Right.
I'm going to give you my sources, then
Okay.
I'm going to read you a poem.
Oh,
we're
God.
we're starting out with like some artsy fartsy shit.
And this is a medical poem?
Well, it's a poem about the medical oddity.
Okay.
Okay. My sources are NYAM Center for History.org, JamesArsenal.com, Wikipedia, chop.ed, face2faceafrica.com. Those are my sources.
Okay.
No clues as to what my medical oddity is, right?
No.
Okay. So here is the poem. The child, a piteous, hideous infant blind, whether the mind wants eyes or eyes want minds, is seen but sees not, fed but never eats. His speechless mouth takes neither drink nor meats, nor ears nor eyes nor feet nor hands can do such offices as nature famed them to. Ever a burden to his loving brother, ever a child, nor e'er like to be other. All the spectators flocking to the scene wonder and ask, what may this wonder mean?
What?
That's the poem. Any clue?
Okay.
Any guesses?
I mean, it sounds like it's just a paralyzed person, a brain dead person, somebody who's like in a vegetative state, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be paralyzed because they can't do anything, it sounds like. So, am I on
You're-
the right track at
Yeah.
all?
I mean, you're kind of close.
Okay.
So the story takes place in 1617.
That's
We're
a
going
really long time ago.
way back. And it's a story about this guy named Lazarus Colloredo and Joannes Baptisa Colloredo. And just a real quick thing about their names. So Lazarus is like a person in the Bible. He, I think, I think he was someone that Jesus like raised from the dead, if I'm remembering my Bible stories correctly.
I don't know Bible stories, but isn't there a Jesus of Lazarus? Am I? Okay, I don't know. No, that's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a thing. Let me look it up.
Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh. See, like I said, I've never read the Bible. I don't know anything about any of that stuff.
I'm pretty
That's all
sure, I should have looked this up. I'm pretty sure, though, that Lazarus is someone that Jesus rose from the dead. Are you looking that up for me?
I didn't know he did those tricks.
Oh, yeah. Jesus could do anything. Lazarus was dead, and Jesus is like, be live. And he rose.
Lazarus of Bethany, also known as Saint Lazarus or Lazarus of the 4 days. It's something about Orthodox. Okay, 4 days dead after he rose again, the subject of a prominent sign of Jesus in the Gospel of John, in which Jesus restores him to life 4 days after his death.
Look at me knowing my Bible.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Well, that's cool.
And then Joannes Baptisa Colloredo translates loosely into John the Baptist. Joannes Baptista.
Okay.
And John the Baptist is the one that actually baptized Jesus. So these are very, very, very biblical Italian Catholic names.
Well, I mean, that tracks.
They're actually twins. And twins, aren't real common. It's about 1 in 250 natural pregnancies will result in twins.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember from your science days how twins come about?
Well, there's different ways. The
Okay.
egg can divide.
Mm-hmm.
There can be 2 eggs fertilized.
Correct. So that's how you get your fraternal or
And
identical.
Uh-huh.
So the embryo that splits is the identical, and then the 2 separate
Or
eggs
fraternal.
are the fraternal.
Yeah.
Correct. Good job. You passed that part. Now, conjoined twins.
Mm-hmm.
Those are even more rare. Those occur once in every 50,000 to 60,000 births. So super, super rare. And that condition occurs when the embryo begins to split, but it doesn't complete the process. So the conjunction of the twins depends on which part of the splitting stopped. So if the eggs were, or if the embryo was splitting and it stopped splitting where the chest is going to be developed,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the twins stay joined.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So one sibling will stop growing, usually like if it's a conjoined twin, and then resulting in a part of the twin surviving off of the other. And that's if a twin, they're called actually like a parasitic twin,
Okay.
because a lot of the time when it's all the time when it's a parasitic twin, that one twin that has stopped growing doesn't fully develop, so it might be missing limbs or something.
Okay. Because there are a lot of conjoined twins that both develop.
Absolutely.
But this is a special kind that stops developing for some reason.
Right, where the one twin continues to grow into full gestation and the other one stops.
Oh, okay.
So approximately 70% of conjoined twins are female, which I thought was
really
interesting.
That is super interesting.
And then approximately 75% of conjoined twins are joined at least partially in the chest. That's the most common spot to join.
Interesting.
And they'll share organs with one another. So they might share a liver, they might share kidneys or whatever. If they have separate sets of organs, chances for surgery and survival rates are much greater than if they share the same organs.
Okay.
So I'm going to, obviously, like I said, I'm going to tell you this story about Lazarus and John Baptist. And this, again, took place in 1617. And these two represent one of the very few cases of viable, and I have no idea how to say this word. It's Omphalophagus.
I can't visualize it that quickly. What? Huh?
It's this word that pretty much...
Sound it out. I want to try.
Omphalophagus. You try.
Okay.
Omphalophagus is my guess.
Omphalophagus. Omphalophagus. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, what's the next word?
Parasiticus.
Okay. So pretty much means a parasitic twin.
Okay.
And this is the first case that was ever recorded of a parasitic twin.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So because it was so long ago, there's not as much information, obviously, as we would like. Like, I don't know anything about their parents. I don't know anything about their siblings, if they had siblings. Honestly, I'm guessing, and this is totally out of my brain, but I'm guessing that they were possibly given to an orphanage or someone to take care of them, and they were renamed something so strong and biblical like that. The Lazarus and John Baptist.
Wait, you're thinking that the parents were orphans?
No, the conjoined twins.
Oh, I got it.
Maybe
yeah.
These boys were born, and the parents are like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do."
And they gave the kid up.
That's
so the babies didn't. They were in an orphanage. They weren't.
I don't know.
Oh,
this is totally where this is
interesting.
This is where my brain went. Nothing based on any sort of facts. Just me putting in my own 2 cents that are worth nothing.
Or the parents just wanted to give them like really strong names.
It's possible. Totally.
I don't know. I mean, considering your story is so old, I'm still kind of surprised that that's the first ever reported parasitic conjoined twin. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like that's...
I think there
I
would
would
been
think
more.
that would have historically been around. I mean, obviously super rare, but like since the beginning of
a lot of
people
the time,
having babies.
A lot of the time, conjoined twins do not survive. It's very common that their survivals is, a couple days, if that.
Huh.
I looked that up. I don't remember the percentage, but it's,
Okay.
I mean, obviously now that our medical abilities are a lot stronger, they can, help keep the babies alive and to give them whatever treatment they need. But maybe back a long time ago, it was just too hard on the babies.
They're
I don't know.
Like, give them some wine.
Yeah, they'll be
It'll
fine.
all be fine.
Maybe a little Amaretto.
Perfect.
So as the brothers got older, Lazarus, he's the stronger of the two twins. He starts traveling, and he goes.
Wait, sorry. I have a question already.
Mm-hmm.
So is the other twin, the parasitic twin, that twin is also alive?
Yes.
Is that a stupid question?
No, it's not.
Because I guess if the twin wasn't alive, then it would probably kill the other one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
But it's alive. They're both alive. So as the brothers got older, Lazarus, he starts traveling, and he travels for over 10 years. And he goes around Europe, Switzerland, Denmark, Turkey, Germany, Scotland. He even visits the court of Charles I while he was in England. And what he's doing is, quote, like exhibiting himself.
I was just going to ask, how does he get to travel so much?
So he's like an oddity or like a sideshow sensation. And he likes to amaze his audiences by exhibiting his twin.
Wow.
And so Lazarus, he is like the head of this show. He's
the headliner.
He's the headliner. But he's also like putting on the show. So he's the announcer. He's the advertiser. He's the star of the show. It's like a one-man show.
So he's like the lobster guy, but like way more talented.
Well, and a lot nicer.
Yeah.
He always goes and gets permission from each city that he's going to perform at. And what he says is like, hey, I'm going to show the people in your city a real life monster.
Ooh.
And that's his word. And he is like drumming up these people, and they're like, heck yeah, we want to see a monster. And he actually draws a self-portrait of himself and John Baptista to get people excited about what they're going to see. So he draws like this big flyer of himself.
Okay.
And that's his advertisement. So like people walking by for the couple days, and they'll see this sign that says, come see the monster. So he's, advertising.
Wait, what does it look like though?
I'll tell you. So Lazarus was constantly described as like a perfect gentleman. He actually had 2 servants working for him that were dressed in super fancy clothes, just as fancy as Lazarus himself. He was a very classy man. And one of the servants, they'd blow a trumpet announcing the start of the show, like a do 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 do, here we go. And the other one goes around and collects all the money from the viewers. And there's this guy, he's an anatomist, which is like go ahead.
I was just going to say, what's an anatomist?
It's an expert in anatomy.
Oh.
And his name is Thomas Bartholinus. And this is like his written description of what he saw. He actually came to 2 of the shows.
Oh, so he wasn't part of the show. He was just going to see it.
Right. Twice.
Okay.
He liked it so much he went twice. And he writes it in his fancy, 1,600 words. So this is kind of my loose interpretation of what he wrote.
Oh, God.
It's really good. I tried to keep it as fancy as possible. So it says, I saw Lazarus twice, once in Copenhagen and then another time in Genoese, which is Italy. He was 28 years old at the time, and it was amazing to see. He had his, quote, little brother growing out of his chest, curled up in the fetal position. The 2 brothers were attached by their xiphoid bone. Where's your xiphoid bone, Angela?
It's in your chest, clearly.
There it is. Did you know that?
No.
Oh,
Where is it?
It's like right here. It's like
right below your sternum?
Yeah. Sure. Right there.
Are you sure? Are you making that up?
A little bit.
Did you look it up?
Nope. I looked up how to spell it.
Your xiphoid. Xiphoid means sword shaped. And
Sword-shaped.
it's the little nubbin that connects your lowest 2 ribs together, it looks like.
Oh, lowest too. So it's
Yeah.
down here more.
So it is right below your sternum, pretty
Okay,
much.
that's where I pointed.
Okay.
I knew something. Sure I did. The left foot of the smaller brother hung down. He had 2 arms, but only 3 fingers on each hand. There was some appearance of male genitalia. His hands and lips would move, but no words came out.
Oh.
I could see his heart beating in his chest.
How close did he get?
Close enough to see his heart beating in his chest.
I bet he had to pay extra for that. I
Well,
hope he had to pay extra for that.
He's a doctor, so maybe he got away with like a closer inspection. His body produces no waste and is nourished from the bigger brother. They share their liver, spleen, and most vital organs. Joannes Baptisa has eyes shut almost all of the time. He takes small breaths, and this is a quote, so that holding a feather at his mouth scarcely moves, but holding the hand there, we find a small and warm breath. His mouth is usually open and wet with spittle, and his head is bigger than that of Lazarus.
What?
But deformed. His hair hanging down while his face is in an upright posture. Questions?
What part? Okay, so he's on Lazarus' chest, but what part of the brother is connected to Lazarus? Are they chest to chest?
Chest to chest.
So they're both kind of connected by that same part?
Right. And so his legs kind of hang down to the
How
side.
big is he?
Not as big as his brother, obviously, but his head is
as big as his brother. Because I was
bigger.
like imagining, because you mentioned like, oh, they stopped developing at a certain point. I was thinking like, okay, he just remained a baby
small
size.
little fetus size. No.
Wow.
This is like, and I'll show you some pictures.
Okay.
Too. I mean, obviously they're not real pictures, they're drawings, but of it. So both of the brothers actually have beards, and Lazarus kept his really neat, but his brother's was kind of scraggly looking.
Well, yeah, he only has 3 fingers on each hand.
Well, and I don't know how easy it would be to shave him, like if he's in a strange position too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Lazarus is, he's like average height, and he has like a strong body. Everyone kept talking about how good looking he was. Very handsome, very kind, very kind of like, showy. And he dresses very well. And what he would do, he always was known for wearing this like fancy cloak.
Well, you think you'd have to.
And the cloak totally hid the brother. And people wouldn't even know it was.
No.
Mhm. And so that's how he was able to go around and no one would notice the brother. But then, he's doing his show and he opens up the cloak and it's like, oh.
What the hell? How do you hide a person like that?
But it's a cloak. So it's like a head or a neck to toe.
Okay, I guess
And it's like
we're talking 1600s fashion.
Right, like a cape is
But
what I.
Still.
Well, maybe
They
they
could have
just thought he was kind of chunky. And a little bit more in the middle.
I'm like visualizing the Little Rascals. Was it the Little Rascals?
When there's like three of them, like
all
walking
in
like
one
a man.
coat. Yeah.
Mhm. No, I don't think it was like that. But good guess.
It's more fun to think of it that way. That's how I'm going to picture it in my head.
So everyone said that Lazarus was very smart and well-spoken. And this was something that a couple people wrote about him having a sound mind. Like he wasn't like a crazy person. He knew what he was doing. But the older that he got, the more scared of death he kind of became because he knew that if his brother died, it was then going to cause him to die. And he was worried that it might take a while. So like say his brother dies and he was super worried about the having to carry around his dead brother and that the smell of death would be with him, and it just gave him a lot of a panic. So because of that fear, he was known to take even greater care of his brother than himself.
I have another question.
Sure.
So his brother, like they're describing that he can open his eyes and he's breathing and his mouth has spit in it and everything. So, okay, no, I think I answered my own question. Because you said that his brother produces no waste.
Right.
So that means that he's not eating. He's only getting nutrients from
His brother.
That doesn't make sense. I'm confused.
Why? It makes perfect sense. Haven't you ever seen a parasitic man twin?
Because even if he's still getting nutrients from his brother, like you think you would still have to poop.
But that's like when you're pregnant,
What?
the baby is getting
Oh,
nutrients
that's an
from the
umbilical
mom.
cord, though.
But there's still, you're sharing your bowels.
Sometimes babies poop.
It's not good if they do. It's
No,
very
it's
dangerous.
not.
It's very dangerous if the baby's poop
okay.
inside you.
I don't know. I just technicalities that were running through my head.
Questions. I got it. So a lot of physicians met with the brothers because they were such an oddity. And they say that John Baptista's consciousness was pretty minimal. And he would hardly ever open his eyes. And he had foul-smelling breath.
Well, brush his teeth.
Well, yeah. But I don't know if they did that back then even with...
Brush their teeth back in the 1600s?
Uh-huh.
Did people brush their teeth in the 1600s?
And if they did, what did they use?
I don't know. Maybe like bristles from oats.
I was watching Survivor the other night at Grandma's house, and they obviously don't allow the contestants to take toothbrushes with them because a whole bunch of them had grabbed like pieces of stick, almost like a toothpick looking thing, and they're just scraping their
plaque
teeth
off their teeth. That's disgusting. That's so gross. But if you were wondering, they did have
the toothbrushes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Toothbrushes have been around for ages, Rosa.
Really?
Yeah, back in 619 AD, the earliest toothbrush in the Tang Dynasty China.
Whoa.
They just look like the kind of brushes that you would use like in a garage to clean things with.
Like
See?
a bottle brush.
Like that.
Okay. Sure. History of the toothbrush.
There you now you know.
There
the
it
more
is.
you know.
The doctors said that because he was unable to drain the cerebral spinal fluid, John Baptista's head eventually grew twice as large as Lazarus's.
So it's just filling with fluid and it can't come back out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So twice as big as a man's head. I mean, that's big. That's really big.
That's like a pregnant belly.
On a head?
But just the head alone. Right?
That's a lot. That's big. He had blonde hair and a blonde beard. And this is kind of what I said before, but his mouth was usually partially open, and it had a toothy, red-lipped mouth that was dripping with saliva. It was also reported that if someone would push on the chest area of John Baptista, he would move his hands, ears, and lips and give cries of distress.
Wait, he can move his ears?
I thought that was very strange too, and I read that in multiple articles about him. Like, if you push on his chest,
He'll move his ears?
but I kind of think it's like maybe because, like, you know, if you like open your mouth really big,
and how your
ears
ears
move.
Yeah, but that's your jaw moving your ears.
That's what I took it as.
Okay.
I don't think like he had like some people can wiggle their ears. I don't think it's like that. I think it's like him opening and closing his mouth, which then pulls on his ears.
Okay.
But stop pushing on the poor man's chest and making him cry out like that.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was very nice.
That's uncalled for.
Because Joannes Baptista could not move on his own. He couldn't communicate or live on his own. Oh, I'm taking that out. Sorry. He was deemed a parasitic twin. So later in life, Lazarus, he actually gets married and he has several children.
Oh, wow.
But again, there's no mention of the wife's name or of the children's names or how many children he had.
Well, maybe they just didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Well, maybe. But as far as I could see, none of the children had the same condition as Lazarus and his brother.
Okay.
So one day, Lazarus, he's out and he kills a guy.
Wait, what?
Uh-huh. He murders a man.
Why?
And there's no mention of why he did it or how he did it.
Did he keep pushing on his brother's chest?
Well, one article I read was because some guy was making fun of his brother.
Well,
And he was sticking up for him.
karma's going to get you.
So he goes to trial and he gets sentenced to death. But he was able to avoid execution because if they were to kill Lazarus,
They would kill his brother.
then they would kill his brother, and his brother was totally innocent.
What a defense to have.
Isn't that amazing?
But what if he had planned that all along and he wanted to go kill somebody and he knew that he could use that as his defense?
I don't think he could use that defense more than once. Like maybe one time, okay.
Yeah, but maybe he only wanted to do it one time.
Maybe.
It was all planned out.
But it sounds like the guy that he killed wasn't being very nice to his
Oh.
brother, if
Well-
that's a true story, that part. So the brothers, eventually they die. There's no exact date of the death. But that's my short little Italian medical oddities story.
Okay, so
The-
they don't...
like I said, there's not a lot of information. And the articles that I found were like the same information kind of spit out different ways.
Yeah,
But how cool.
that's crazy. I wonder... I mean, pretty morbid to think about if that fear that he had became a reality, or if he lived out his life, to a long.
I mean, long enough to get married and have multiple children.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So here's my ripple. And it's another story about a parasitic twin. Okay, so 1930s, Betty Lou Williams, and she had a little sister, a parasitic sister, that had 2 legs and 1 arm. Betty Lou appeared at the 1933 Ripley's Believe It or Not auditorium when she was just 1 year old. And she was born Lily B. Williams on January 10th, 1932 in Albany, Georgia. And she was born to a poor farming family, and she was the youngest of 12 siblings.
Wow.
And she had a small parasitic twin growing out the left side of her body, and her sibling had 2 legs, an arm with 3 fingers, and then another like tiny arm-like appendage that was kind of there. And when Lily was just 1 year old, she was discovered by a professional showman called Dick Best.
What a great name.
I tried to keep going.
Was he
without
part of the
laughing.
show too?
Can you imagine? Next,
Oh,
when
man.
they call last name first, best dick,
Dick.
here.
Oh my God, that's so great.
Okay, I tried to keep going and I couldn't. So he changed her name to Betty Lou, and he gave her like a spot in his New York museum, which got her the attention from Robert Ripley, who is known for the Ripleys, believe it or not.
Wait, he was in her museum?
Yeah.
So she just kind of stood there, had a spotlight over her.
Yeah.
Maybe she's on a little like
Pedestal.
electronic Lazy Susan.
Like a car.
How? What?
Mm-hmm. At just 1 and 2 years old.
Wow.
Do you remember reading those Ripley's Believe It or Not like books? Kind of like
course.
the Guinness World Records.
Yes.
I mean, I could spend so long looking at all that stuff.
I absolutely did that.
What's the most like memorable to you?
I was actually just thinking of Guinness World Book of Records when you
Me
said
too.
that. And the one that I remember the most is the lady with the longest fingernails.
Yes.
Is that the same one you had too?
Oh, 100%. I mean, they
Well,
just curled and curled.
Yeah, it was really, really gross. And she only had it on one hand, and
Well,
she
yeah.
kept like this long sleeve over it. It
Because
was
you have to wipe your ass with the other hand.
Yeah, there is that. And remember, they had a TV show with that too.
Oh, I
And
don't know
she-
if I...
Yeah, and they
About her specifically?
No, it was like a Ripley's. Was it Ripley's Believe It or Not TV show? I think it was. And like each week, they would feature like a couple people
From the strange and...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was one of them.
So crazy.
It was really gross.
So at 2 years old, little Lily, or Betty Lou, like her name was changed to, she starts making $250 a week to be shown at the Ripley's Believe It or Not auditorium.
What year is this?
1934.
Okay, that's pretty good money.
Yeah. And this is at the Chicago World's Fair. And so it's, in my mind, it's kind of like, you know, when we go to the fair and they have like, oh, step inside and see a 3-headed snake, or, you know, that's kind of what I'm imagining. So Ripley's, they created a flyer, and that flyer had a copy of an x-ray that they took of Betty Lou that revealed a perfectly developed head inside her chest.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So the older that Betty Lou got, the more famous she became and the more money she earned, topping out at $1,000 a week.
Whoa.
And again, everyone just says how nice and kind this woman was. And with the money that she earned, she bought her parents a 260-acre ranch.
Oh, wow.
And sent all 11 of her siblings to college.
Hell yeah.
How great is that?
That's not what I was expecting at all, because the way it kind of sounded was almost like her parents like got rid of her.
Because
like she's only 2 years old and she's in a museum.
And I think they kind of did, maybe not got rid of her, like disowned her, but like maybe they thought, hey, I'm going to give her to these people. They're going to care for her. They're going to give her a better life than we can give her. Maybe that was in their mind, but obviously they kept a connection with her, which I think is super cool. But not only was Betty Lou kind, she was also stunningly beautiful. Gorgeous. And I'll show you pictures of her.
Okay.
So there were a bunch of men, obviously, that were interested in her because of her beauty, but also because of her oddity. And at 23, she found the one that she wanted to marry. And she got engaged to him, but he was an asshole.
Ugh.
He stole a bunch of her money and then just took off.
What the hell?
And shortly after he bolted, she had a horrible asthma attack that killed her. And doctors were super shocked that happened, because they were constantly checking up on her ever since she was a little girl and saying she's healthy, she's strong, she's going to live a long, long, healthy life. And so then many people say that she died of a broken heart.
Oh, I was really hoping that you would say that she remembered what happened in 1600 and she went and killed him and had the perfect defense.
Yes. That would have been great.
No.
Hopefully the guilt from stealing this woman's money got to him.
That's really awful. I wonder, too, if having, like you were saying, the head developing in her chest compromised her breathing, like if it pushed on her lungs or anything like
or
that.
Or her heart.
Yeah,
both.
that too. That's wild.
Right?
That's super crazy. We've talked about conjoined twins before when we did our twin episode, but we haven't talked about that like specific type where it's not fully developed parasitic twin. That's crazy. I had no idea.
Me either. But I was way into it.
Yeah. Conjoined twins are really amazing. Like really, I don't know. It's always really fascinating to me.
Well, the two twins that are probably the most famous conjoined twins are
Brittany and Abigail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they both received their own college degrees.
They are teachers, right?
Right.
And I think they're both married. I think.
So I thought so too, and I looked it up and they're not.
Oh, why did I think that? Did they get divorced maybe?
I don't know.
I'm curious because I loved watching that show. Did you watch it? I think it was like on TLC, just the reality show about their life.
And again, super kind. I don't know what it is about conjoined twins, but
makes
they're
you
all
a nicer
like,
person.
So nice.
Okay. Do you want to hear an update on them?
Yes.
So this is an update from June 2019, so fairly recent.
Okay.
Worldwide famous conjoined twins opened up about their love life.
Oh, okay.
Brittany and Abby, okay, I guess she's not going by Abigail anymore, have been exposed to the public life since childhood because they are girls who have survived the fact that they have to share the same body and several of their organs. Here, we tell you a little bit more about their interesting stories. 2 minds, 1 body. They are 2 different thinking human beings with different personalities. They have different heads, well, obviously. Born in 1990. It's from Ammo Mama.
Oh, it's like a blog.
They have separate vital organs. Each one of them has their own heart, spine, stomach, spinal cord, separate lungs. However, they share a liver, large intestines, and reproductive system.
So that's why they couldn't be separated.
Oh, yeah. They're very much conjoined. Like they each have an arm and each have a leg. Like they're...
Yeah, that's right.
It's all
one
the way through their
like
chest.
the right side and one controls the left. That's
yeah,
right.
which is amazing that they're like so coordinated. Okay, so happily ever after. This pair of girls also has plans in the emotional aspect. And like any girl, they want to start a relationship with the boy of their dreams. I wouldn't say like any girl. I think there's a lot of girls who don't have that as a dream. Brittany and Abby told Discovery Channel that they expect to go out, get married, and have children. Brittany, and Abby believe in happy stories and happily ever after, so they want to find the Prince Charming to settle down with. The twins are optimistic and believe that there are 2 guys that will be perfect for their unique situation, and this would be a fantastic love story.
Did you know that doctors recommended that the parents separate the twins when they were first born?
Brittany and Abigail? Really?
Yeah, and that would have meant obviously choosing one twin to live and one to die.
Really? I don't think they could have even done that. Like, I mean, take the emotional aspect out of it, because obviously that's why they didn't do it. But I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I just don't think that would have been possible. I think they share a body.
Yeah, they do. Are you
Wow.
ready? Oh.
Sorry.
Are you ready for your last thought in a shot?
Did you almost fall over?
Again.
Okay, I just realized that you finished your drink and I have like half of mine left, and that normally doesn't happen when
The one person is the storyteller and the other person's the listener.
That's how, I don't know, just like fascinated I was with the whole idea of...
Yeah, you need to drink faster.
Okay, so I'm going to drink...
Last thought in a shot, last thought in a shot. Drink your shot, 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 shot. Drink it down, drink it down, drink it down, down, down. Hey,
okay, I'm glad you did that because I didn't want to sing.
Oh, I always am the singer.
Yeah, well, you started the bit, so it's all on you. Okay. So when you told me last week that you were going to talk about Italy, I thought for sure we would be drinking bottles of wine right now.
Well, that was my original plan. But then I came across this little fun drink, and I thought it'd be more fun than just opening a bottle.
Yeah. Well, we'll have plenty of wine tomorrow
Woohoo!
with our turkey. And since I thought we were going to talk about wine, I pulled up some wine facts. And I thought you would find this one particularly interesting.
Fantastic.
And you're talking about medical oddities.
Uh-huh.
So this is wine for your health.
Oh, well, isn't that what wine is for?
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Mental health, physical health, all of the health.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from the dailymeal.com.
Okay.
Drinking a glass of wine is as healthy as an hour at the gym.
No way.
That's what it says. And you know the internet doesn't lie.
That is, I forget riding my Peloton. I'm just going to drink bottles of wine.
Does your Peloton have a cup holder? Like
Two of
bottle
them.
holder?
2. I will put 2 bottles of wine in there and take a picture.
Perfect. Then you're quadrupling your health.
So I'm just going to pedal and drink and pedal and drink.
Perfect.
Love it.
Okay. So how could this be? Scientists have found in a study that the chemical resveratrol,
That chemical.
naturally found in red wine. Okay, so make sure it's red wine.
Okay. Is it better if it has that sediment stuff? Is that what it's talking about?
Absolutely. No, I don't know. Probably. Naturally found in red wine has numerous health benefits and heart positive benefits, including improved physical performance, heart function, and muscle strength. Okay, it's good for your muscles.
So the next marathon I run, I should, instead of having bottles of water in my pack, I should have bottles of wine.
Sure. Or you can fill up a Camel pack. You can have somebody handing out glasses around the corner and stuff. cheering you on.
Remember, did I ever take you on a hash? Or did I just talk to you about hashes?
No, we went. We
We
went and we took my friend Richard. Oh my God, that was such a long time ago.
I just remembered that.
Yeah.
So hashes for 99% of you that don't know what a
Honestly, I
hash
forgot
is.
they existed until right now.
I did too. I haven't been on one forever. It's they're called Hash House Harriers, HHH, and they're literally runs or hikes, and someone sets them up. They're little trails, and they put little chalk marks on the ground, and each little chalk mark means something, and there's all these crazy rules, but there's all these little stops where you have to either drink a beer or take a shot or what else?
I don't know. We only had beer when we went. There was
Okay.
little coolers that were kind of hidden because it was on the beach. I remember that. And I do remember the little turkey feet and stuff on the, but I don't really remember what that means.
They're hidden arrows, and then you'd come across them, and then you'd find YBF. Remember? And that means oh, you've been fucked. You have to go turn around and go back. It's so fun. But it's all top secret, hidden.
Well, we're outing them now.
Well, and you couldn't say your name, because remember that rule? You were
Vaguely.
You had to say, "Oh, I'm just Angela," because we were new. We weren't given a hashing name.
What is it? Why is it called hash?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew all about this stuff.
No, I was never even given a name. I only had gone 3 times.
Just Rosa.
I was just Rosa.
Wow.
But Raina was goes down easy, because on the very first time she went, she
fell?
slid in the mud, and so
Oh.
she became goes down easy.
That's a great name. That's funny.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I wonder if those still exist.
I bet there's some good turkey trots going on tomorrow. We
Hey.
should look it up.
If you have ever done one of these, send us an email. Tell us all about it. I want to hear what your name, or if you're allowed to. I don't know. It might be top secret. But yeah, that's my story about how red wine is good for you. There's a little quote here from Jason Dick, the principal investigator for the study. How many dick jokes have happened in this episode? So this quote says, "I think resveratrol could help patient populations who want to exercise but are physically incapable. Resveratrol could mimic exercise for them or improve the benefits of the modest amount of exercise that they can do." So look at that. This is the best news we've had in 2020. So go find a dog park and pack a bottle of wine and hold on for another month, because we're almost to the end.
I like it. Wine, good.
Okay.
Hey, this is kind of another little thing about wine, but have you heard of the show on Netflix, The Queen's Gambit?
I have heard so much about it, but I haven't watched it.
So I couldn't sleep the other night and I started it.
I know
And
so many people love it.
Let me, first of all, I found something. If you're watching Netflix on your phone, you can't take a screenshot of the screen. It's black.
Yeah.
I discovered that. However, they haven't figured out that if I'm watching it on my laptop, I can take a picture. And I just want to show you this picture right here of the girl, the main character.
She's drinking Ripple.
How cool is that?
Oh, that's so awesome. You have to post that. You have to post that on our Instagram.
She's drinking Ripple.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
That's so awesome. Also, I love her hair.
She's very interesting looking. She's like really pretty, but not like traditionally pretty. It's a good show.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. I've heard lots of good things. And I've just been watching YouTube. I'm way into Mr. Ballin. Have you ever watched him?
Does he have dick and ballin'?
He's really great.
No. What is Mr. Ballin'?
He talks about all kinds of strange and unusual things.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so maybe he'll give me some story ideas.
Well, speaking of story ideas, you need to pick for next week.
I do. Okay. Where's the basket?
Behind the laptop.
Oh, okay. So,
Place
my
first?
place
What's up?
is Ireland.
You're not in the United States anymore.
Which means we're going to drink some Jameson.
Whoop, whoop.
And topic is...
Well, it's English, though. It's not like you have to translate anything. You suck.
Paranormal.
Again?
Oh, I just did paranormal.
That's all right.
Should I choose again?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
Ireland.
bring you some Irish paranormal. I feel like a lot of our stories, regardless of like what the topic is, they kind of all overlap. Like we'll talk about paranormal and it'll also be a mystery.
Totally.
And then like sometimes the true crime stuff is
a mystery. Or paranormal.
Hey, you had a medical oddity that also included true crime today, so
I did. Look
there
at
was a
that.
murders.
We're just checking all the boxes.
Yes.
I
Bringing you
will-
all the things. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say to our listeners, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and happy Black Friday, because this comes out on Black Friday.
Oh. We should have done Black Friday crimes.
That would have been a good one. Remember when we did Holidays Gone Wrong? Or no.
Special
Special
occasions
events gone
or something?
wrong.
Yeah.
Mhm, that would have been a good one. Well, we're coming up on 50.
Yes.
Episode 50.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to do a fun little special episode for
Mhm.
that.
So if you would like to know anything about me or Angela or the two of us, send us an email to theripplepodcast@gmail.com or shoot us a message on Instagram at
Just Ripple Pod.
Ripple Pod
Mhm.
or on Facebook at The Ripple Podcast.
But probably just do Instagram because that's easiest.
Or, yeah.
Whatever.
Just send us a message. Ask us a question. We've got some pretty fun
We
questions.
do. And it doesn't just have to be podcast related. We've had all kinds of fun questions come in.
We've had a couple questions about the dogs, which I'd love because I like talking about our dogs. We've had a couple questions about...
I don't know. I haven't looked at them.
I looked at a few of them. Something about the scariest thing that's ever happened to us.
Something like that, yeah.
There's been a few. I can't remember the other ones right now, but those ones were cool.
Yeah, I looked at the first. I shouldn't say I haven't looked at them at all. I looked at the first few that came in, and they looked like a lot of fun. And so I'm super excited about that. But I haven't checked up on it since like yesterday. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we have lots more.
Yay! Okay, well, have a great week, and don't forget to be a fountain.
And not a drain.
Bye.